Let me know if we are back. Okay, awesome. All right, so the next thing we need here is the WebSocket OBS Node.js or JS, I think, this one. We are not back. And so this is the guy we need now. This is the feed stream. Get all your fetish going, guys. So now what we need to do is to stop this. And we're gonna do yarn install. What was the name again? I cannot. OBS WebSocket JS. Oh, it's not install, it's add. There we go. So let's redo the daemon index. Yeah, our clicks are still being handled properly. Okay, so let's take a look at the API for this guy. And so you need to create the object first. Hold on. So now on top of everything we were using before, we're going to be using, oh my God, I can't copy and paste on Windows. So Control C, Control V, there we go. And then what we're going to do here, let me move those two things here to the bottom, like so. And we're going to do an async function called main. And the reason I'm doing this is because the WebSocket API is all driven by promises, and if you use async and await, it's going to make our lives a lot easier to work with promises. All right, and then I'm going to call main here, right? Let's just see if everything is still working. Let's do a couple of clicks here. Yep, everything is still working. So now what we're going to do is this. Once we check that, I think we need to make this async as well. Async. Now, if this is a click, we're going to do, wow, this was clicked. And then we're going to call change scene. We can also do await change scene. Yeah, we're going to have await in a second. So let's do a connect first, like this. Connect, and we're connecting to the default. And then let's send a request. Let's get a list of scenes that I have on my, here, obs.send get scene list. Let's do that. I'm your live linter. Yes, you are. So we're gonna do const scenes equals await, and then we're gonna do, I don't think I have my shortcuts here, so we're gonna do console.log, and then let's list the list of scenes that we have on my OBS. Man, I completely forgot about the recap, and when I went to buy the carbon kits, it was already sold out. Completely forgot. Okay, so now let's see. OBS is not defined. Why is OBS not defined? What did I forget? Oh, I need to instantiate the OBS WebSocket, I think. Let's see here. Const OBS, new OBS WebSocket. Like this. You did? Wow, if you want to sell, I can buy it. I'm kidding. Let me just double check the API because I think I did something wrong. OBS, so then you have obs.connect. And that should be okay. What is the problem? Unhandled promise rejection. Okay, hold on, let's see. I think it's not being able to connect. Let me see if I have the correct settings here on WebSocket service settings. Enable WebSocket service. Yeah, everything looks to be correct. So let me see if the problem is on the connect here. What I can do is this. Let's add a console log before and one console log after. Let's see what we get. Oh my god, where is that? Yeah, so before and after is working, so it looks like we are being able to connect. But then I think the problem may be here on sending the get scene list. That's odd. Let's do something. And I need home and end. Yeah, so it looks like the problem is on get scene list. So let's do a try. I hate the fact that I don't have home here. Then catch error, and then man, I will need to program home on this thing because it's unbearable to use. Let me grab another keyboard. Hold on. I was using this before, which doesn't have home and end, and I can't program on Windows without those. So we're gonna go with the number 1. Oh, we have the same chair. You have the Aaron as well? Yeah, it's a great chair. I love it. Let me grab my mouse. Yeah, so now we have home and end. I can program again because unfortunately I'm not completely used to Windows at all, so I'm messing up too much. So let's see. Yeah, now we're talking. So let's see, error, and then let's do like that. Okay, scenes is not defined, but how stupid am I? Did I where scenes is not defined? Oh my god, what did I do wrong? Hold on. Oh yeah, console log scenes, that's not gonna be because that's within the context here. Hey, look at that. Tess is hosting me. Thank you so much, Tess. There is no socket connection available. Okay. Why Windows have to be so complicated? This worked out of the box when I tried it on a Mac. So let me check here. Tools, WebSocket service settings, port 4444, no authentication, no nothing. Okay. Is there a way to know the list of open ports in Windows? Let's see something. Hold on. That's that AN. Oh, great. Let's see if something is listening on port 4444. Yep, it is actively listening, so what? So let's try this. Telnet 4444. Yeah, this is WebSocket, so... Oh, hold on. Telnet 4444. This... Yeah, this chair is really expensive. Here in Brazil, it's particularly expensive, but this is... I spend my life on this chair, right? So... I needed to do that. We are asking it to connect. Okay, let's see something. Const result is obs.connect. Console.log res is res. Let me save this. Let's see what we get. Promise pending. Oh, hold on. I think I know what the problem is. I forgot. Oh, is this where you said no await? Demon like 30 minutes ago? If it is, I'm sorry. Okay. And just like that, it works. Sorry, man. You should have called me out. I was stupid. So look what we got with this payload, right? You get... Sorry, man. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, this is the M body, the Herman Miller M body. Oh, okay. Yeah, so a couple of nice things that you get. You get the current scene. So I'm using the scene called screen sharing on my OBS. And these are all the scenes that are available, right? So here's the idea. What I want to do is have a list of scenes that I want to switch from. So for instance, if I want to toggle between screen sharing and let's say face scenes, what I want to have is have like a configuration file where I can configure that. And then every time I click, I want to switch between one and the other, right? Let's see if we can do that on this script. And then after that, I'm going to start doing a little bit of a refactoring and creating classes and following the single responsibility principle and things like that. But before we do that, let's just make sure that we get this to work. So I think we can get rid of this try thingy for now, right? Let me actually comment everything that we have here, like so. And let's do this. Let's have a list of scenes that I want to toggle between. Could you, Node.js is nice, really been trying out Morse TypeScript plus Dino. You could also make native OBS plugin and use your, yes, you could, absolutely. This is more of a shortcut to make it, faster. All right, so what we're doing here is we're doing all this. What I want to have here is sorry, I'm clicking the wrong place again. So outside of this, outside of this main function, what I want to do is have a list of scenes that I want to toggle between. So let's do screen sharing and face new for now, right? So now, yeah, I just thought that we may need to have the OBS object outside of the function so we can share it with other. So let's do here, let OBS. And of course, this is going to be a very better way to do it once we start refactoring. So here, await change scene, which we don't have. Let's create that function change scene. Okay, while we're at it, let current, no, hold on. Current scene. Let's see here, let me. Get scene list, and then the current scene equals scenes.current scene. So we always know the current scene. Okay, So what the change scene function needs to do is this. Oops. Async function change scene. So the first thing we need to do is get the index on the scenes dot index of current scene, and then const new index equals index plus 1. Let's see, index less than scenes dot length minus 1. So if we still have scenes to go after the ones that we're going to increment. Otherwise, we're going to go back to the first position of the array. And then new scene is going to be scenes new index. We can do a console log changing to scene new scene. And then we need to find out how we set the current scene from the API. Let's do that. So hold on, let's see. Samples. Node sample. Let's see if we have something here. Otherwise, we need to go to the, let's see, get scene list, on switch scenes. Hey, how are you, Evo? How are you? Let's go to the OBS API. Let's see, module. OBS backend design, plugins, frontend, core API, module API, core API, source, scene. See if we have. No, I think we're on the wrong place. Hold on. See if we have anything about the documentation. Receiving events, handling errors. Example. Oh, nice. Let me grab that. Definitely helps. Oh, this is the. These are the events. Let's see the things that requests. That's exactly what I needed. Scene items, scenes, set current scene, and then the scene name. That's it. Thank you so much, JMS. That really helped. So now what we have to do is do await OBS dot. What is the send? Send something. Send. Set current scene. And then new scene. That's all we have to do. All right. Let's see. Save this. Let's look at the here. So I'm gonna click the switch. I'm gonna click it on camera so you guys can see. And if we start seeing my face, it means that it worked. Let's see. Okay, it didn't work. I saw the click worked. Changing to scene screen sharing, which is not the right one. Cannot create property request type on string screen sharing. Okay, so we are definitely missing something. Two things that went wrong. It was not supposed to be changing to screen sharing, and it was also I think we got the way we do it wrong. So let's see here. It returns a promise, so it almost looks like we did it right. Let's see. Oh, I think we need to send, yeah, the argument is an object. So set current scene. We need to pass in the scene name as an object. So let me do that. So that would solve one of the pieces. So here, what we need to do is this. Scene name, new scene. But now I need to figure out why we are not... I wonder if this is like this. I think so. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. Let me grab the switch once again. And let's see if it changes to my face once I click this. No, because it did change, but it changed to the screen sharing scene. Let's go back here. Index. Oh shit! Yeah, I don't know why I used it. Sorry. Index off is a function, not an array. Let's keep it at that. Let's go back. Once again, thank you again, JMS. There we go. So we changed. Look at that. Look how cool this is. On a click of a button, I changed from the screen sharing to my face camera. Let's click it again and see if it works. Changing to scene face new, so it didn't work. Hold on, guys. Let me manually change to the screen sharing. Let's debug a little bit. So let me do console log edx is edx. Console log new idx, new idx, and then finally let's get the console log new scene. Oh, that one we already have. Let's see what was wrong. So let's go back here. Let me click it. We went here and let me check. So the previous index was 0, the new index is 1. Now it changed to face new, which is good. Let's click it again. Oh, it's saying that index was 0, which is wrong. I think the current scene is not being returned properly. Let me show you guys. Can you see? It says the index was 0. It wasn't. Oh, hold on. Did we get the scene before doing that? Let's check. Yeah, we didn't retrieve the current scene, right? We assume that we had the current scene already. So we don't need the current scene because the current scene is going to always live on the OBS. We don't need to duplicate it here. So let's do this. Const current scene equals wait OBS dot, what was the command? Send get current scene. So we don't need to get the list of scenes and then get the current one. I think this, we have a get current scene already. So we don't need to save. We don't need even to run any of this. We just need to connect here. So let's do that. Let's take all of this out. There we go. All right. Let's see what we get now. Grab the switch. Hey, Cartoon, how are you? We are here playing with some Arduino. So now it changed from -1 to 0, which is definitely wrong. I think the result is... I'm pretty good as well. No, but we need to use index of daemon because we need the index of the current scene within the array and not only to see if it's within the array or not. And I think this returns a protocol object. Let's see, current scene. Let's see what this returns first. Yeah. So it returns a lot of information about the scene. So we just need the name of the scene. So let's do that. Let's move back here. And what we need is current scene dot name. Let's go back here. All right, let's see if it changed to my face once I click the switch. There we go. Let's see if it changed back to the screen sharing once I click it again. No, it said changing scene undefined. So sorry, wrong one here. I think this +1 here is not correct. I think it's still like this. Let's try it again. Let me go back here. Let me click it once. There we go. Let me click it twice. Same thing, undefined. So the new index was 2. So it's still not detecting. I think it may be -1, to be honest. I am just taking a wild guess here. Oh, that's cool, JMS. Oh, there we go. So now it is working. Every time I click, it transitions between screen sharing and face new. Can you see? So this is already useful. If I put this on a pedal and I plug it on the computer, we can switch between scenes, right? Can you see? How cool is that? Okay, let me do one final test here. Dope, right, cartoon? I love it. I love it. Okay, so now what I want to do real quick is put a third item here. Let's use that side view, which shows me from the side. I don't know how you do that, but that's sick. That's the reason of this stream. I want to show you exactly how I'm doing it. Okay, so let's see if we change between 3 different scenes. So let's see. We are on screen sharing now. Let's see if it goes to my face. Sure enough, it does. Let's now see if it goes to the camera, this camera on the side here. Let's click it. Ooh, look at that. So now you're seeing me from the side. If I click it again, it should go back to the screen sharing. Let's see. There we go, guys. Every time we click, we switch from the scenes. How cool is that? Let me try to click and hold. So you can see that when I click and hold, it is not switching the scene until I let it go. Okay, let's take a quick pause where I can explain everything that I did so far and see if you guys have questions. And then we can probably break it here. No, we can start some refactoring actually. All right. Hey, Tryhard, you sure? Can we do some real talk now? Sure. We can't be friends anymore as you use. I hate 4 spaces for indentation. That's if I show you my Mac, it's 2 spaces. The thing is, I think I didn't configure my VS Code with my profile. Yeah, I use 2 spaces and I don't use tabs or anything like that. Okay, let me try to explain here on this piece of paper what we did, right? I am terrible at drawing. I am terrible at diagrams, but I'll try to explain what we did. So the first thing that we did is we got an Arduino, right? This is the Arduino Pro Micro. And we attached to 2 of those pins, we attached, I think this is the symbol for a switch. Correct me if I'm wrong. Something like this, right? So we connected, and let me show you this. So here on the Arduino, we basically connected one side of this switch to the ground pin, GND, and another pin to pin number 8, right? So every time you close this switch, the electricity goes through from pin 8 to ground, right? And basically what Arduino knows is it knows that this has been connected, right? And let me show you where we did that. Let me go back to the screen. So here, what we're doing is, if you look here, switch pin is pin number 8, right? So going back here, what we're saying is give me what value you are reading on pin 8. So when the switch is not closed, it's going to read 1 because of the nature of how this works. It's going to read 1, right? Because meaning that electricity is flowing to pin 1. Once this closes, this thing here closes, it's if I tell Arduino, please read the content of pin number 8, it's going to start reading 0 instead of 1, right? So if we go back to the screen, when you see equals to low, low is 0 and high is 1. It's just, okay, I lost you. Let me try it again. Let's see if I can make you understand. Hold on. I am terrible at explaining things, so I'll do my best, okay? Can you see here that we have all those different thingies on the Pro Micro? Each of those things are pins, right? Most of those pins are pins that you can either read from or write to, right? Those are the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. And on the other side, you have a 3, 2, 1, 0, 15, 14, 16, and 10, right? Those pins that have number are the pins that you can either write or read to, right? All the other pins, like the ones that you see here, TX, RX, GND, RAW, another GND, RST, and VCC are special pins, right? For instance, VCC is a 5-volt pin, GND is your earth pin, if you will, and whatnot, right? So what I'm doing here, I put one of the sides of the switch on the ground pin, so meaning that I soldered it to this pin, and on the other side of the switch, I soldered to pin number 8. So if you see here, when I close the switch, this basically, it allows energy or power to run from one pin or one side of this switch to the other. And basically what happens is pins 8 and ground are shorted. Energy flows between pin 8 and the ground pin. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me know if how bad was that. Hold on. Sorry guys. Ugh. Did you get it? I'm glad, man, because I always feel like I am terrible at explaining. Okay, so from what you said, this is here, right? This basically every time you press the switch, if you read the value of that pin 8, it's going to transition from 1 to 0. Okay, let's go back real quick to the screen here. So what we're saying here, you can imagine that the Arduino is it's always, yes, exactly, it's like a regular macro button. Arduino is always calling this function here. So this is happening a lot of times per second, like million times per second, right? Every time that happens, what we're doing is saying, hey Arduino, did you get that pin, did the status of that pin changed from 1 to 0? Like here, did it change from 1 to 0? That's what I'm asking Arduino on that line. And then if it is, what I'm saying is, you know what? Store the value 1 on this variable called switch pressed. Basically, are you high? Exactly. So put 1 on this little variable, right? And also keep track of when was the last time that you became low, right? And then what I'm doing here is checking. if this variable switch pressed is now 1, and the last time I pressed this button was more than 250 seconds ago, write to the USB cable, to the little USB cable that is plugged to the Arduino, right there, the word click, and then change the switch pressed variable to 0. What did I say instead of milliseconds? I don't remember. So basically what's happening from this side is every time I press the button, oh, I said seconds, I'm sorry. I meant milliseconds. Every time I press the switch, put the word click on the wire, on that USB wire, okay? So that's what I'm doing from the Arduino side, remember that. Then, now on my computer, I created a little program that does a lot of different things, right? Everything starts on the main here, okay? On the main function, what I'm saying is that the first thing you're gonna do is connect to the USB port. This is what I'm doing here. I'm connecting. It's on my computer. It's on COM11 on my Windows computer. And then what I'm saying here is every time there is data on that USB pipe or in that USB cable, call the function called process and pass on whatever you received from that cable, right? So if the Arduino sends click, what's going to happen is we're going to call process with the word click, okay? And then here on the function process, what I do is I first clean the whatever I received to make sure that I don't have trash around it. And if what has been sent is the word click, then we're going to call the change scene function. And this is the change scene function. The change scene function is going to do, the first thing that it's going to do, it's going to ask OBS. OBS, what is the current scene that you're on, right? In our case here, we are on the scene called screen share, right? And then it's going to get a collection of scenes that I predetermined. And you can see that variable here. So we have 3 strings on this variable. We have screen sharing, face new, and side view, right? So it's going to ask that that little array. That's how it's called, that collection of strings. What is the index of the scene that we are current on? So what is the index of the screen sharing scene? And since that's the first position, it's going to return 0, right? So if 0 is less than the length of that scenes, that is 3 minus 1. So if that's less than 3, which it is because it's 0, then increment the current index. So it's going to become 1, right? And then it's going to retrieve what is position number 1 on that array. And it's going to be face new. And then last, what we're going to do is tell OBS to change the scene to the scene that we just came up with, which is face new, right? And that happens over and over again. We're going to go from screen sharing to face new, from face new to, I think, side view. And then once it reaches the end of that array, what's going to happen here is that index is going to be 2, and it's not going to be less the length minus 1, because remember, length is 3, minus 1, 2. So we're going to go to 0, and we're going to return to the first position of that array, and then we're going to go back to the screen sharing view. Hello, Antonio. How are you? Welcome. All right. And then what happens is every time we click this little switch on the Arduino, we're getting that code to be executed. So Arduino is sending the word click on this cable. My computer is receiving the click command. It's calculating which is the next scene that I need to go to. And it's actually changing the scene every time I click it. So it's going from screen sharing to the face view to the side view, which is what you see now, right? Every time I click, it changes from one to the other until there's no tomorrow. Does that make sense? I don't know if you're still there. So if anyone have any other questions, I'm happy to take them. Otherwise, I'm going to start doing some refactoring. Let's read chat a little bit. I tried playing shooter games with Guitar Hero controller. Are you a web developer? Yes, I am. I am a web developer, and I have a development company, actually. JMS. All right. And I actually also written a book. I don't know if you guys knew that. I have, let me find my book. Oops. This is the book I wrote. It's a very known Angular JS book called NG Book 2. You can see my name here, Felipe Curi. So I actually wrote this book as well. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, it's a very known Angular 2 book. I can send you a digital copy if you want, Panda. Just let me know. It's not gonna be signed though. Actually, we don't have printed books. I do have one copy. Oh, this is cool. Let me see if I can find this. This book was actually translated. I don't remember if it's Chinese or Japanese. I have the image of the book translated to, I think it's Chinese. I'm not sure, but I can find it later. My question is, I want to start a keyboard company where is build 60% keyboards and sell them, but how should I call it? Oh man, naming things is very hard. One of the things that I wanted to do is to come up with a name for this project, for the mechanical pad as well. All right, here's what I want to do now, unless you guys object. I want to get this mess that we have right now and start refactoring it. What do you guys think? All right, I'm gonna do that, and you guys can tell me to stop if you don't want me to do that. All right, let's create a new folder here called source. And inside source, I'm gonna create a roadkill. I like it. Footmeister. Footmeister is also good. So let's create two files here. One to handle everything we need to do with OBS, and one to handle everything we need to do with the Arduino. Right? Let's start with the Arduino. Let's close this thingy here. All right, and then let's call it class Arduino. And then there we go. Let's make so that let's have a constructor. I don't think we need this. Let's see. I don't know. I don't even know how to split the editor on here. So let's see. So with the Arduino, let's create a third class called, hold on, called the pedal. Let's create that to have a layer of abstraction here. So let's create that first. Okay, yeah, I use it on Mac, and it's usually Alt, Shift, and then the curly braces to split it. I'm not used to. All right, so let's create a constructor here, and what we will need is a. Oh my God, let me change it to 2 spaces. Hold on. Let's see if I can change it for everything. Hold on. Where is preferences? Oh, very nice. I can't open preferences. How cool is that? Wow. I think that's a bug on Visual Studio when you have such a tiny screen. See if I can move it real quick to my other screen. How do I drag this up? There we go. Hold on. File, preferences, settings. There we go. So we're gonna use 2 here. Why is it not 2? Okay. Format file. There we go. Better. Okay. All right. So a pedal will need the Arduino side. And a pedal will also need the OBS side, right? It's going to basically be an orchestrator between the two. So let's create an init method here. This.arduino.on message. Let's call it this equals this dot, let's see, this dot handle message. Then yeah, I think this is fine, but I think we can do that on the constructor. I think that's fine. And then we can do a on message here. And then here is the command that we get. Let's call it message, since this is on message. Yeah, I did, Demon, but it changed only for the file I was editing. When I created a new file, it reverted back to 4. So we're actually gonna do this dot handle message like that. I think that should work. All right, then on message, let's do const command equals message and message dot trim. And then what we can do is if message equals click, then what we can do is this dot change. Should the pedal know what to do when the message is click? I don't think so. What we can do is when we create it, we can have a list of command map. So what we will do here is we're gonna call this dot command map for that command const command, and then we're gonna see what is the command we need to execute, and then if command, we're gonna do command, and we can pass on the message if we want, but I don't think that's necessary. Otherwise, we're gonna say console.warn command not found, and then we can pass on the message. There you go. So basically what we're gonna do on the pedal is every time there is a message, we're gonna call, we're gonna trigger a command from this command map. So another thing we need to do is make command map equals. So what I'm saying is that I don't need OBS here. Yeah, I don't need OBS here. So command map is equals to command map. There we go. Okay, that's it. And then the other thing we need to do here is const Arduino equals require Arduino. And finally, we need to do module.exports equals Arduino, no, pedal. Hey, Functional. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. All right, and with that said, I think we're good on the pedal class. Let's create, yeah, let's go to this index. I want to rename this. No, not pedal, sorry, index. Rename to index old. And then let's see on the Arduino what we need to make on the Arduino to make this pedal work, right? So we don't need to actually, do we need to do anything on the Arduino? No, just on the message. So on the constructor, let me think. Okay, another thing that I want to do here is to pass in the Arduino so we don't have a hard dependency on the Arduino module. So we can instantiate that outside, and then we can do Arduino equals to Arduino or new Arduino like this. This will make it easier to test. Mr. Pedal. I like Mr. Pedal. I'm taking note on those names. Okay. So when should we connect to the Arduino? I think, hold on, let me check index old. Oh yeah, there is one thing that I want to, it's time for me to get some sleep, have a good stream. The pedal idea is looking good. Yes, I think also this may be as good time as any to stop episode 1. And maybe we can pick it up. I don't know, are you guys tired? Do you guys want to break it here and pick it up tomorrow? Or should I keep going? What do you guys feel? Okay, let's continue then. So on the Arduino, what we need to do is this, right? We need to connect to the serial port. So let me copy this from here to here. We're also gonna have to also get those two things there. Oops, what did I just do? Hold on. Press something wrong. Okay, here we go. So coming back here, I was saying that we need to copy this line over to here. Yeah, I was thinking about that, or either that or doing some refactoring on episode 2. All right. So now we have the port, and let's see what we do here at the bottom. So where is the code that we use for read line? Let's see. Process, where are you? Here. Yeah, so we also need to do all those 3 things here. Hold on, let me see again. How do I, so Arduino.onMessage, okay. Okay, let me actually close this so you guys can see better what I'm doing. So here we are connecting to port COM11, but I want to pass the port here when we create this. So we can use port. Port.pipe, and then on data, we're going to receive the line. And instead of doing process, what we're going to do is this dot on message and pass on the line. This way, oh my God, I hate this. When you're, what is the name of the, on the pedal, you guys can see that we are setting the on message to be the handle message, and I handle message. So every time the Arduino receives a message, it's gonna call this pedal object message, right? So we're gonna be basically doing this. Okay, perfect. So I think this is all the Arduino needs to do, is to connect to this port, read, yeah, I think we're good here. All right, let's create a new index and see if we can get the Arduino going from this refactored state. Let's go outside here and let's create a new file called index.js. And let's do this, const Arduino equals require source Arduino. And here's what we're gonna do. Const Arduino equals new Arduino. And then I think we need to pass on the port, right? Con 11. And then Arduino dot on Arduino dot, where is Arduino? On message equals, let's do a definition of a function here. Let's see message, and let's just console log message as message, just like this. Let's see if this code works. Every time I click, if I get the message displayed on the screen. Let's see. Let's go back here. I'm getting Arduino is not a constructor. Let's, I probably know what I did. I forgot to export this. Yes, I did. So I have to do module.export Arduino, like so. And then we can go back here. App crashed. I need to restart this. Arduino is still not a, hold on, let's see. So we have Arduino, module.exports is Arduino. Port has already been declared, of course. So weird for me to see you using fat arrow methods with common JS syntax. I guess that's Node.js. I know it's a kind of a mess, but I love doing it this way. And Node supports both. And this version of Node, at least the one that I'm using, doesn't support export default class and things like that. So that's why I'm not using that. All right, so port equals new serial port. So let's call it actually serial port. Instead of port. Let's see if that works. There we go. So now let's click and see if we get a message on the screen. There we go. So now we simplified the Arduino code by a lot just by doing this little refactoring, right? We went from all that code to just having to instantiate the Arduino, and then whenever you have a new message, do this, right? Very cool. Let's start doing the same thing for the OBS class. Let's create an OBS class. Let's have a constructor, and then let's have an init. I don't even know if we need a constructor or not. And let's do the, oops, I am still using my, okay, let's split and let's get that index code here so we can see what we were doing with OBS. So OBS, we're gonna need this, include. Yeah, I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm pressing Control Home and that shows me the desktop. Do you know how I go to the first line on Windows? Home goes to the beginning of the line. Is it? I thought it was Control Home. Yeah, I was not pressing Control. Yeah, I was pressing this is a Win keyless, so I was not pressing Control. I thought I was pressing Control. I was probably pressing Windows Home, which is what was showing me the desktop. Yeah, those things happen. Okay. I just finished loading my switches here, out to bed, and my tip for the name of the prog is Garrincha. Taking note on that one, Garrincha. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Demon. I'm probably gonna go for another half an hour. People are getting bored and leaving me, but I'll continue. Let's move on. All right, let me see what's next here. We were trying to port this, so basically what I need to do is to copy this line over here. Why is it not working? Control Home, Control V, there we go. So we are creating the OBS WebSocket object. And then of course we need to do this. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this async. And I'm going to move this here. And I'm gonna make this in a property of the constructor. So there we go. Nice. So when we initialize this, we're gonna call connect. And then what we'll be able to do is to retrieve the current scene. So let's see, this method is also async. And we're gonna do return wait this dot obs dot get current scene. Let me find that. Get current scene. Oh yeah, dot send. Let's create a send method. Send method. Polaris or thermal. I personally prefer thermal because I think it's a very new kind of mounting system. I think it looks nice. And another thing you need to know is that Polaris sold 500 and something. So thermal is gonna hold more value for resale. And also gonna be more exclusive than Polaris. Everybody's gonna have a Polaris. My 2 cents, right? And command, and then we're gonna do this dot obs dot send command and args if any. True, what Panda said is also right. So we're gonna return this. So what we can do is this dot send get currency. Okay, so now when we call, oh, we can even make this a getter. So get async currency. I think it's async get. Something like this. Yeah. I don't think the number of units sold for thermal is as near like the amount of Polaris that are already sold, I think. Okay, so I think our OBS, let me see if I forgot something, but I don't think so. Okay, this should be enough to get us the current scene. Let's try it. Let's go back to that little index and let's add something more here. Let's do const OBS require source OBS. And let's do this const OBS new OBS. Console dot log OBS dot current scene. Now there is something that we need to take in consideration, which is we need to make a main function that is async, because we're gonna have to wait for the current scene like this, and then we have to call main. Yeah, I think that should work. Let me just see if I'm exporting, which I'm not. Module.exports OBS. Let's see. Unexpected identifier. Yeah, okay. Current scene. Let's not make this a getter method. Let's do get current scene like this. Unhandled, promise, rejection. Okay. What am I doing wrong? Hold on. Oh, did I call init? I did not, right? Yeah. Let's do this. Let's move this outside. Let's also move this outside. So what we can do here is obs.init. Wait, obs.init. Woohoo! Here we go. So it is returning the current scene properly. And now every time, of course, I click, it says click. So that's cool. All right, so now we did refactor. We have OBS and Arduino as objects. All we need to do now is instantiate the pedal, right? Because the pedal is kind of the one that's going to be an intermediary, so it's going to be above the Arduino. So let's do const pedal equals require source pedal. And now we're going to instantiate a pedal here. Const pedal equals new pedal. And then we're going to pass on the Arduino, but we also need to pass on a command list, command map. So now, every time the pedal receives a command, we want to do something. So we no longer need the function main. We kind of do the init here. Yeah, I think what we can do is, hold on. Yeah, let's make this async. And wait, init. Yes, so if not this dot initialized, what we can do is this. And okay, this should work. I don't know if it will. And then what we can do is take a look at the pedal again. And then let's create a command map that we can pass into the pedal. Command map equals, if it's click, and we don't need the, if it's click, then we're gonna do change next scene. Is that how you do it? Let's see this command. Yes, it is. Okay. And then what we need to do is create an async function, change next scene. And we need to get the, oops, sorry. What we need to do is on change scene is const current scene equals await obs.get current scene. And what we're gonna do here is on OBS, instead of returning, yeah, okay, well, that's fine. Let's just do log current scene. So just a recap of what we're doing here. We are saying that every time we receive the click command from Arduino, we're gonna call the change next scene, which is this. And then all we need to do is, let's see, async. Do we need to do something else? I doubt. I think that's it. Let's see. Main is not defined, of course. You don't need main anymore. Oh, but you need to say, how does the pedal know that it has been initialized? Let me see. Arduino constructor. It does everything upon construction, so I think this should work. Let me see. Let's see what happens if we do this. Okay, let's see what happens if I click something. Okay, it did something, which is awesome, meaning that somehow we are already initializing. This dot on message is not a function. That's cool. Let's see why. So this dot on message is not a function, and that's probably on the pedal. oh, so this dot Arduino dot on message equals this dot handle message. So handle message, yeah. Okay, so this is still on the Arduino. Let's see. Okay. Oh, of course. No, not of course. Okay, let's do a little debugging. Let's do this. Let's click it. On message is undefined. No, I don't get why. On data line, Arduino. When we create the pedal, let's go to the pedal. Ugh. The first thing that we do is on message equals this dot handle message. Why is, okay, hold on. Let's see what we have here. It's not passing there. Why? If I am creating an Arduino here on index, what is this thing? Okay. When I create an Arduino here, it should do that. Oh no, yeah, you're right, it doesn't. But when I pass it on to the pedal, I say this Arduino is equal to Arduino or new Arduino if there isn't an Arduino. And then this dot Arduino dot on message, yeah. I'm not gonna create a new Arduino if one is not passed to me. Let me delete this. Let's see. Undefined. Why is that? Why is that not working? Yeah, port COM11. Port COM11, so it is the same one. Where am I setting that again? On message. This dot handle message. Let's see if we have, so it's not passing through here. That's super weird. I misspelled controller. How cool is that? Cannot read property click of undefined. Cool. So now the comment map itself is not working. So let's see, comment map equals comment map. This dot comment map. Let me see what the comment map log console log comment map. Let's see what we get now. Undefined, okay. Let's see, CP1 comment map. Oh, here it is, click async function. And now it says undefined. Cannot read property click of undefined. Yeah, that is a problem. I'm gonna install Lodash, yarn add Lodash. We are iBurley? Yes, we are. We did a lot so far. And now we're doing some small refactoring on the JavaScript code. So now what I have to do is try to get the command. And if it doesn't exist, it should give a nice error now. Let's see. Still no nice error. Let's see. We're getting reference error. Of course. Forgot to include it. So now let's do const equals require Lodash. Okay, and to test it, we have a little switch here. Let me show you. Can you see we have the Arduino here with the switch, and every time we press it, we are sending the message here to the USB cable, and the computer is already being able to check it. We made a prototype that worked, changing the OBS scenes every time I pressed it. We're now trying to make it better. So let's see what happens when I click it now. Command not found click. That's perfect. That's what we wanted. But we need to figure out why the command map is not reaching here. Let's see, command map. Let's see what we have on the command map once we initialize it. The command map, you can see that we have a command map click. And then when we call I think we need to do handle message dot bind this. This is, I think, what we're missing. Let's see. There we go. It's working. It's working. So now we got the scene. Okay, perfect. Now all we need to do is to change the next scene. Is we need to declare that collection of scenes. Let me get the old index. And scenes. Where is that? Here we are. Let's use the same thing. Let me delete this and this. So now what we're gonna do is the same logic we used to switch the scene here. We're gonna do index scenes index of current scene dot name, and I think we can do all this. Then the new scene, we can leave this changing to scene, and then all we need, oops, sorry, still pressing wrong buttons. What we need to do is do obs.change scene and then new scene. Here's what we need to do on one end, and then we need to implement this method on the OBS class. So let's go there and let's create a change scene. Async change scene. Oops. And then the name of the scene, let's call it scene name. Return await this dot send, and then we just need to pass on the scene name like so. And then if everything worked, the program should be working again like we did before. Let's see. So let's see if now when I press the little button, it's gonna change the OBS scene. There we go. It changes from the screen sharing to the face. Let's see if it changes from the face to the side. There we go. So every time we press it, we are cycling between the three scenes, like you can see. So I think the code is ready. And we did a whole lot of refactoring, right? We went from this mess that we had before that was 41 lines long and full of different responsibilities into a much cleaner design where we have the Arduino, we have the OBS, and we have the pedal. There is one thing that I want to do, which is the auto detection of the Arduino port. I did that before on a, let me see if I can find a project where I did that. It's going to be github.com/fcody/macpad. I think it's with an A here. Let me see. Yes, this is the method I'm looking for. Find Arduino. And let's get the Arduino. Let me create a second method here called detect. Let me paste this code here. So serial port.list, error trying, port.find, where manufacturing is Arduino. So if we don't find a port, we return nothing, but if we do, we return ports. So this is gonna be the detect. So we're gonna take the port, or we're gonna detect. And then if we don't get a port, we're gonna throw an error. Throw new error. Please specify Arduino port, like this. Otherwise, we can auto detect the port. Let's see if that works. Let me put a console log here. Connecting to Arduino on port, and then I'm gonna print the port here. Let's see how this works now. Please specify Arduino port. Okay, so this didn't work. Let's go here. Let's see why it didn't work. Log console.log ports. Let's see what we get from here. It crashed, so we need to restart it. Something's still wrong. serial. Oh, okay. This is, yeah, this is, okay. We can't do it like this. We need to make it, hold on. Let me see how I do this. Yeah, we need to do it like this. This dot detect dot then. I don't think you can do it like this. We're gonna have to have an init method. There is no way to around it. If we want to detect it. Yeah. I'll have to change it a little bit. Yeah, let's then move it a little bit. So let's do it like this. And let's have an init method. If we don't have a port, this dot port equal this dot port or await detect. Then if we don't have a port, we do all that. Okay. I need to remember how to do this because I need a kind of a promise. Okay, so const pr equals promise. And then here we have to return the promise. And then instead of doing this, we need to do pr dot not catch reject with this text. Then here we need to return, yeah, we need return here. We need return promise dot reject dot oh, I forgot. Hold on. Promise reject. Reject resolve. That's it. Resolve and return pr dot resolve port. Okay. Now let's go back to index and let's see Arduino. We're not going to pass the port. We need to do await. Oh no, not here. Yeah, we're going to need a sync main here. True. So let's see here, Arduino. Async, no, not here. Where is await? Here is a sync. Async. Promise resolver undefined is not a function. New promise and then resolve reject. I love stuff like this. Decide you have an issue and you fix it start to finish, design it. Yes. So that is the idea with this series, to have like, oops, sorry, I moved it to the wrong place. Like to create the model, to have the Arduino piece, to have the computer piece. That was the exact reason for this series. So, promise resolve. So we don't need to do pr.resolve. We just need to call resolve, and we need to do this. I think that's basically it. Let's take a look. Okay, let's see what we get now. Unhandled, promise, rejection warning, cannot read property, includes of undefined. Here includes, okay. Yeah, let's take a look at the list of ports. Console log ports. So we have COM11, and sure enough, this has Arduino on the name. So I don't understand, cannot read property, includes of undefined. Port's fine, where port has the manufacturer and manufacturer. Is it manufacturer? Yes, it is. This should work. Why isn't this working? P is this. Yeah. P dot manu. Oh, I spelled manufacturer wrong on the second piece. And that's the reason of the whole thing. So that makes sense. Let's see, it's missing. Yes, so port is not defined on line 15. Okay, so I think as far as this goes, we're good. And we don't need those lines anymore, because if we don't find it, we can do this. Let me take out, yeah, let's do it like this, it's fine. So now we're getting port is not defined on line 15. Okay, port, it should be this dot port. And here this also should be this dot port. First argument must be a string. Where is this calling from? Connecting to Arduino port. Oh, yes, of course, we need to, what's the name of the port? Com name, I think. Yes. So if there is a port and port com name, I need to make sure that this works on a Mac as well. There we go, connecting to Arduino on port COM11. So we no longer need to specify the port, because our code is smart enough to detect which port Arduino is on. You know what that means? That means that we no longer need the Arduino instantiation here. Unless, yeah, we need to init this. Yeah, we still need this here, which is fine. Let's just see if this still works. And it does. Every time I press this, it transitions from one to the other. Yeah, that's super awesome. Okay, so here's what I will do. Hold on. I think I am satisfied with where we are. What do you guys think? And start getting in my workshop. Yeah, I'm very comfortable of stopping here. And then tomorrow, what we can do is assemble this and make sure it works. I'm gonna test it on a Mac as well. to make sure that this code also works there. Oh, there is one more thing that we need to do, which is to configure the scenes that we want to transition with. Let's do that real quick. And that should be very easy. What I want to do is I want to have a configuration file. Let's create a new file here called config.json. And what we're gonna have here is a list of scenes, which we can get from here. We just need to change this single quotes to double quotes so that it complies with the JSON format, like that. And then here on the index, instead of doing it here, here's what I'll do. We're gonna do that on the init. So let's have let scenes. And then for now, all I'm gonna do is scenes equals json.parse file, not fs, hold on. Const fs equals require fs, and then we're gonna have parse fs.read file sync config.json, and we're gonna pass in utf8 like that. And then I think we can configure the list of scenes. Just see command map. See console log index code, doesn't matter. Connecting console log this. We don't need this line. We don't need this command map. We don't need this. We don't need this. Changing to scene. And when we init this, what I want to do is do a console.log switching between, and then let's have the list of scenes that we're switching between. Yep, scenes. Oh, so this is not the scenes. This is const config, and then scenes equals config.scenes. Yes, so switching between screen sharing, face new, and side view. And now we can have this from, if we change, so right now we're switching, if you saw, we're switching between screen sharing, face new, and side view. Let's change the file, let's change the config.json. Let's take out, okay, let's change to, instead of the last one being side view, let's change to my intro new to see that working. So now if I run this, the last scene should not be my camera that I have on the side, but my introduction. So let's go. We are now on screen sharing. Let's go to face new. There we go, face new. And then now it should go to the intro. There we go, that's my intro. And then if I click it again, we're back to screen sharing. So that's cool. And you can see it went to face new, then intro, and then finally back to screen sharing. Let me just revert that. Config JSON, instead of intro new, let's keep side new. And now we need to do a couple of things. We need to echo node modules to get ignore. We also need, so let's copy config.json, config.json.example. That should config to get ignore. Let's do a get init. Let me real quick go here to, where's the browser here? Let me rename this project so we can use that. Cool. Now let's do git add everything. Let's just do a git status. So we have git ignore. I think everything is okay. Oh, we don't need index code anymore. Let's move index.ode.js somewhere else. Then we can do git add, git commit, and we can say this is a chore, initial commit. And then we can do git remote add origin. And then we can create a new repo. Let's see. My repos. New. Let's call it MacPad for now. Let's copy this. That's it. Git push origin master. And there we have it. If you guys want to take a look at the code that we created today, here it is. That's the code for the client, and I'm should have the code for the Arduino fairly soon somewhere as well. Let's before we wrap it up, let's just quickly switch between scenes. Oh, it's not running, is it? So if we run it, connecting to Arduino on port COM11, let's click it to change. There we go. We're now on the on the face view. And then we go to the side view, or maybe not. We got an error, which is good. Let's see why we're getting an error. Handle promise reject. This error originated from a sync function. Okay. Hey, hello, helpful human. How are you? Yeah, the problem is that this scene here doesn't exist. So this is a good point for us to switch between scenes. So yeah, the name of the last scene is wrong, but I want to catch that error. Let's go into this method and let's see. Wait, so let's do something. Let's do to change scene. Const result equals wait console log res return res. Let's see if this returns an error or if this I think it raises an exception, but let's see. Let's see, I'm gonna click it, face, then the error already occurred. Let's see, screen. Yeah, it doesn't even get to the point where we get an error. So let's do this. Hold on. Let's do this await. Oh, what did I do? Hold on. Okay, let's do a try. Can you make it so it keeps the scene if the name is wrong? Yeah, but I want to have a warning or something. Catch error. And then let's do console.log. Oh, let's not do it here. Hold on. Let's leave this as is. Still want this to bubble up. So here on the index, here is the proper place. Changing to scene. Then we can do try. We can do try to do this. And then we can do catch error. And then we can do log.error. Error changing to scene, new scene. And then we can add error was, and then get the error message displayed like this. Let's see what happens now. We go to face, and then let's see what happened. Still an error. Fuck. Yeah, this is the scene that doesn't exist. And handle project rejection. How do I catch this? If not with a try catch. Oh, I know why. I'm not running this on the... So it didn't reload. So I wasn't running with node mod. This should work now. Let's go to face. Let's click it again and let's see what happens. Log is not defined. Fuck. It's console.error, not log.error. So that was an error within an error. Okay, here we go. So face, click again, and then here we go. So error changing to scene side new. The error was requested scene does not exist. That's perfect. That's all we need. So now, of course, we can go to the config and make sure that this is side view. Can you make it if it's an error and still add? Yeah, sure. It can. I think what we can do is change next. See, no, that's not going to work. That's a little more complex because... Okay, hold on. What we need to do is have a while here. We would have to have a while here. While true. We're going to do this. And if there's an error, what we need to do is do edx equals adx plus 1. And then if we're successful, we need to do a break. I think this should do it. Let's see. Unexpected token. Let's see where I messed up. Error was catch error while true. Oh. Forgot to close the while true here. Okay. Let's see if it works now, Panda, and goes to the next one. Let's see. Let's go here, and let's see if it returns to the previous one. Oh, I fixed the config file. Sorry. Let's break it again. So side new. Let's see. Did it restart? Just to make sure, let's restart it manually. Here we go. Let's click it once. It's going to go to my face. And let's see what happens when we click again. You see? It does what you asked for, Panda. Goes back to the next one. You see? It says I could not change to side new, but I went to screen sharing. Cool. All right. So let's get ST. Let's take a look at the difference. So this prevents the error. So let's say we have a fix. Goes to the next scene if current scene doesn't exist. Then we have that fix pushed. And we are good, guys, I think. Let's just fix the config file again. View. Run it one last time. Oops. Let's click the button a couple of times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. That only took 2 hours. All right, guys. This wraps up episode 1. I think tomorrow we're going to do the final assembly of the thing. I'm going to put it on my feet and we're going to test it. I'm going to have a camera. Does it actually work in a different USB port? Yes, it does. Let's try that. Let me plug it to another USB port to see if it changes the COM. Here's what I'll do. I'll plug it to my... So I unplugged. I'm gonna plug it to my hub to see if that works. Let's try it. No, but it's a good test. I love those kinds of tests. Let's see if it connects to a different COM port. You see? It already detected it on a different port, COM13. Let's click to see. You see? So now it's on a very different, in a different USB. And it still changes from one to the other. All right, I think now that wrap ups what I had for today. Thank you all for joining. I know this is somewhat keyboard related, but I wanted to do something different and, pursue this project. And just to give you an update, hold on, let me show you this. our new version of the pedal is getting shape. Can you guys see? So by tomorrow, we're gonna have the new one where we can plug the Pro Micro and everything. All right, guys. Thank you for sticking around. If you don't follow me here on Twitch, make sure you do. If you're not on any of my social networks, make sure you join them. I post VODs of everything I do on YouTube. I may even post this one today so people can get access to it. All right. Thank you, Sleeppoke, Panda, every helpful human, and everybody who was here, I barely, to the very end. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for the second and maybe last episode of this series. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.